You may remember in a previous Just Flying video, when we were leaving Mount Cook, that I told you about the greatest biscuit in the world, the Arnott's Mint Slice. Well, somebody saw that video and has totally made my day by sending me a few packs of Arnott's biscuits all the way from New Zealand. I am just so happy. I don't know if I should mention that person's name because they might not want people to know who they are, so I'll just say a big thank you for my biscuit present, but I think to protect their identity and avoid any embarrassment, I won't say their name out loud. So moving on from my totally anonymous biscuit donor, let's say welcome to episode number 17 of my Just Flying series, where today we're leaving Hokitika and going to take the short trip over to XNZTE Takinga Airfield. We have crossing runways here, the wind's roughly in the middle of both. And it's only about 5 knots anyway, so we may as well go with this runway, as that's kind of pointed in the general direction of where we want to go. Yeah, let's go for it. We're up, and hopefully we'll get down again at the other end, because I haven't checked on this, and I'd say I'm about 90% confident that I can remember which airport Takinga actually is. Now if it's the one I'm thinking of, then it's quite small, but we should be able to get this Cessna Caravan in happily enough. If it's not the airport I'm thinking of, then, well, who knows, we'll have to see when we get there. So, with most of my videos, I try and keep them reasonably family friendly. But I do put the warning sign at the front of these Just Flying videos, and today I'm going to make use of that and have a little bit of a rant, just so you know in advance. And perhaps I'm just late hearing about this and everybody knows already, but I only found out a couple of days ago that in December the FAA in America had changed the abbreviation NOTAM, so instead of meaning Notice to Airmen, it now means Notice to Air Missions. And a part of a statement I saw about that, and remember this because we'll come back to it later, was that they wanted to ensure the name change was gender neutral and inclusive. The word might, M-I-G-H-T, as in, I might have a pizza for my dinner tonight. But it can also mean an expression of strength, such as, I'd tried with all my might to pick up the really heavy object. It's the same word, it's spelt the same, it's pronounced the same, but it has two completely different meanings. Although as soon as you learn the context of how the word is being used in a sentence, it becomes totally obvious which of those two meanings of the word is being employed. Man. That is a description of a person classed as a male Homo sapien. It's actually quite a complicated thing, because while in general it's thought of that XX chromosomes are female and XY chromosomes are male, There are people with extra chromosomes. It's possible to have XX female chromosomes and yet have male genitals, and vice versa. And there are lots of other grey areas in between. But in general terms, for male and female, you are classed as one or the other, depending on which reproductive organs you are born with. Now, with transgender people, there are genuine physical and measurable differences in a male brain compared to a female one. And so I've read, with the majority of transgender people, they usually do possess a different brain characteristic compared to what their genitals suggest that they should have. So perhaps it should be more correct to use the physical brain differences as a measure, but it's kind of irrelevant anyway, because even if we change the criteria for what is or isn't included, man or men is still going to be a definition of a male Homo sapien. But that's not the only way the word is used, is it? Man is also a fully encompassing term for every person on the entire planet. When Neil Armstrong was on the moon and said "giant leap for mankind," there wasn't an extra bit at the end of the sentence where he said "and also womankind." No, what he said, what he meant by mankind was everybody. The entire species of humans. I might have a pizza for dinner. I lifted the object with all of my might. Male Homo sapien. Every human being on the planet. Man, might, same thing, isn't it? A word that's spelt the same, it's pronounced the same, but has two totally different meanings, which are easy to discern by listening to the context in which the word is being used. So to go back to that statement about ensure the name change is gender neutral and inclusive, Airman already was gender neutral because it didn't refer to gender in that context. And as far as it being inclusive, well, you can't get more inclusive than a word which means every person on the planet, regardless of their sex, gender, age, race, religion, disabilities or anything else. Airman, in the context where it was used there, means everybody. Now, there are people in this world who are prejudiced about the male-female thing. Women who want to prevail over men, men who actually do want women to fail, and vice versa. It's easy to find examples of genuine negativity within sex, gender, race, religion, and lots of things. But the word airman in the abbreviation of NOTAM is not one of those things. The context in which the word airman is used there isn't negative. The only way you can find negativity in it is if you actively go looking for something to be offended by and then purposely choose to ignore that there are separate meanings of the word. Now, for me, whether you're gay, transgender, male, female, the colour of your skin, the place you were born, all of these things, I don't care. I actively try to not be prejudiced and treat everybody only in accordance with the type of person that they are and the character that they present to me. I may think that you are a twat, but if I do, it's because you are a twat. It's not because race, gender or anything else is influencing those decisions. I don't need people to misuse language, to redefine it, or invent some special magical properties to attach to certain words. And there are plenty of other people like me who don't need that either. Language and society should not be dumbed down to accommodate idiots who don't understand it. What should be happening instead is people should be looking for the context of how words are used, and when there is no negativity in that context, they should not be trying to change the word. They should be trying to educate those who are still offended. Because if a person is taking offence to things like airmen in NOTAM, then intellectually they have begun walking down a path where they will become much less able to identify and to deal with real issues affecting people in this world, because they are so caught up with their imaginary issues. Changing NOTAM from airmen to air missions might have made a minority happy in a short term, but by catering to that lowest common denominator instead of educating them upwards about language and context, I genuinely do believe that NOTAM name change has, in a very small way, contributed to making the world just that little bit worse. And that makes me sad. Right, shall we try landing a plane then? Unfortunately, this is the same airfield that I thought it was, so hopefully we'll be okay. What there is here is a short gravel runway, but coming in this way we're going uphill, so that will help us to slow down. And also there's no fence or anything at this end of the runway, so we can come in really low across a grass field and touch down right at the threshold. Although I still haven't flown this plane enough to be totally confident of the height of it when we are just about to touch down, so fingers crossed we don't land in the field just before the runway, but you never know. Let's see what happens. Down nice and low. And we're down on the brakes. Yeah, that's slowing down okay. Don't think I even need the reversers with this, do I? Nope, that's good. Let's have another little look. My gut feeling is we did land just a little bit early. And yeah, I think there's a few blades of grass stuck in that undercarriage, isn't there? But never mind, we're down. So welcome to XNZTE to Kinga Airfield. I was going to go and park by the hangar in the middle. I've noticed there's one of the AI aircraft now parked there instead, so we'll go down to the bottom. And that will do for this episode of Just Flying, which was a little different today. I'll try and get back to a more normal one next time. Unless you actually particularly like me having a rant, then maybe I might do that a bit more. Who knows? Yeah, park up here, and that will do for Just Flying episode number 17. Right, I've got some biscuits to go and eat. See you soon. Bye.